Morning, everyone. I have just been reminded this morning of Bahamian time. It's been a while. So if I can just introduce myself, Jeremy Mutton. Some of you may remember me as the face of Sandals, but I'm not here in that capacity today. I am here because when I was in Exuma, I volunteered at the Humane Society. The Sunday evening shift was my shift. I left the stress there, and coming here was just my calm. They were always happy to see me, never answered back. It was just wonderful. And also over the years at Sandals, I did get very close with Shirley, who we are here for today, and Shirley's family. And for that reason, a couple of months ago when this dedication was being organised, Ellen asked me if I would MC the occasion for those reasons, and of course I could not say no. So that is myself. We have some VIP or dignitaries that may still be on their way. There have been a couple of other meetings going on Exuma this morning, so I cannot acknowledge any of them at the moment. So I will say that kind of protocols are already established. Pastor Stephen Smith, thank you for being with us today. We appreciate it. And I will be thanking a few others a bit later, but I will go ahead with the protocols a bit later. Miss Poitier, Rosemary Poitier, I'm sorry, I see you there. Chief Clerk and Animal Control Unit representative from the Department of Agriculture. And Miss Poitier is going to be coming on just for a minute or two just to share her role and also the partnership she will have with Exuma Humane Society as well. So she is here. Thank you so much. Chris Cattell and Jenny Cattell, MBE. I had to say that. I just had to say that, MBE. Congratulations, Jenny. I also want to welcome Shirley. And Shirley and her family, they live in Florida. Shirley is a very sprightly 91 years. So she doesn't travel a lot these days, but she will be traveling down to Exuma later on this year to see Shirley's place. But she is Zooming in this morning. She is live, so just want to say hi, Shirley and family, as well as everyone else who is streaming in from the US, from Canada, from the United Kingdom. It is great, and welcome to everyone. I'm going to ask us now to please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Immediately following that, please remain standing for the invocation by Pastor Stephen Smith.
Good morning. I'm honored to be here today and join in this celebration as we dedicate Shirley's place to the Lord. Let us look to the Lord in prayer. Our Father and our God, we thank you for this wonderful day that you have made. And yes, God, we have come to rejoice and to be glad in it. May this place be a shelter of mercy, a center of healing, and a source of hope for animals and people alike. Grant wisdom to leadership, dedication to staff and volunteers, and generous heart to the community. May Shirley's generosity continue to inspire faithful action and share responsibility. Bless this work and all who serve it. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Please be seated. Throughout the proceedings, I will be calling up a few persons just to share a few words. These are persons who have in their own way made today possible. I'm going to start by kind of doing this a bit back to front, because normally for an unveiling, you would unveil at the end. But we don't really want to see that ugly backdrop for the whole of the occasion. So for that reason, we're not going to be cutting the ribbon until the end, but we are going to be unveiling the mural. And when we first started this project quite a while ago, it started off, it's going to be a little picture, and then it was going to be a painting, and I don't quite know how it morphed into what we have now, but it has only been possible by Elkino Dames. I'm sure many of you know him, the senior master of Ellen Coakley, who for the last few weeks has been toiling every evening and weekends putting this together, again as a thank you to Shirley. So without further ado, I am going to call on Elkino Dames to unveil the mural, and he's going to say a few words as well on behalf of himself and the other contractors who have been working. So Elkino Dames, Senior Master of Ellen Coakley, and the gentleman behind who did this mural for us.
Good morning, all. Good morning. It's indeed a pleasure to be here this morning and to be a part of this amazing project. About a month ago, I was approached by Mr. Jeremy Mutton here, who I've had the pleasure of doing several projects with the Sandals Foundation. While I came here, I've been here for the past 3 years, and he's called me a few times prior to his demittance from office. This project has been a beautiful one. It's been an inspiring one and an informative one for me. I've had a few animals as a child, but not as an adult. But seeing the commitment and dedication from the partners, the sponsors, the volunteers, Lady Ellen, Lady Shirley, and Mr. Mutton, and all of the volunteers like Peter and those who come in continuously, man. It's a work of love and labor and dedication, and I'm privileged and I have the pleasure to be a part of this. And now we'll unveil it, because I want to be brief, because I know there are going to be many persons who are going to share their joy and happiness in being a part of this and the future that is to come. So now we're going to unveil, okay? Dun, 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 dun. These are hands-on. 3 specific animals. Their names being Cinnamon, Calypso, and the beloved Zeke. So, hearing their names repeatedly, I decided to incorporate them in the design. And if you've met them, their spirit is emblematical in their approach as well. I wish I could move that over a bit more. One of the things that Lady Ellen has repeatedly said in my initial encounter with her is that it's about the animals. That this entire project is about the animals. Can you put that in the corner, please? All right, so the unveiling.
Thank you, Sir Dames. Humane Society Exuma is primarily made up of 4 key components. Firstly, the new veterinary and wellness clinic, and we're going to be hearing brief remarks from Dr. Smith in a short while. And the new veterinary and wellness clinic is behind us. We wanted to incorporate the word wellness because too many people these days will only go to a vet, will only go to a clinic when the animal is sick. And oftentimes, prevention is better than cure. And so really we want to encourage and educate people that by paying regular visits and regular checks, you will not have that scenario of the emergencies and all the rest of it. So that's the first component. Secondly, the shop. I'm sorry you can't really see the shop in its true glory. We're in the shop now, obviously, but take the chance of coming back at some stage to have a look at the shop. This shop is so well stocked with all of the supplies that you would ever need. So, have a look around you at the shop. Thirdly, and one of our volunteers, Susan, she's going to be coming up just to briefly share her story and also share about the shop as well. The shelter is the third component, primarily looking after sick, abandoned animals, animals that need just some love and don't have a home, or we don't actually have any at the moment here today. The volunteers will tell you that is not usual. That is not how it, we have some, but they've actually been, they're fostered at the moment off property because it would have perhaps been a bit too intimidating to have so many people and all the noise and all the, we didn't want that. So you will only see the 2 resident cats who are here. But please don't think just because you don't see any animals that there are not always those animals here, but just we don't have them here at the moment for this reason. Tamara is going to be coming up and just spending a few moments sharing with us the work that the shelter and the volunteers do. And then finally, the 4th component of Humane Society Exuma is the foster and adoption service. We're going to hear firsthand from Erica, one of the volunteers. She's actually come today with Scooby. Not quite sure how Scooby is going to be in this room full of people, but it'll be good for Scooby. So Erica's just going to come along and share her story because we wanted this to be a very real experience. We really wanted people to hear and see firsthand what is taking place here. This isn't just words, and this isn't just we'd like to do, and this is actually showing and demonstrating what happens every single day. I would first of all, though, like to call up Tracy. Tracy is the Vice President of the Humane Society Exuma, and Tracy is going to say a few words. After that, I'm going to be then calling up Susan, followed by Erica and Scooby. So Tracy, the Vice President of Humane Society Exuma.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. First, please allow me to pass along apologies from our president, Rustin McGregor, who was called away on a work emergency and asked me to step in on very short notice. Before anything else, we want to recognize the extraordinary generosity of Ms. Shirley, whose donation made this entire clinic expansion possible. Her support and belief in the mission of the Humane Society Exuma helped turn a real need into something tangible for our community, and today we are proud to dedicate this room in her name. My involvement with the Humane Society began as a foster. Once I became involved, I quickly saw just how great the need really is here on the island. We started as a small group of people, simply trying to help where we could has grown into a real community effort. Over time, what began as an individual effort to help animals grow into something larger. As that became clearer, we came together to build something more structured, a full-fledged humane society dedicated to helping animals of Exuma. At the heart of our mission is spay and neuter, along with education within the community. Population control is especially important because we are still limited by volunteer capacity and kennel space. Preventing unwanted litters is one of the most effective ways we can improve animal welfare across the island. We are also very grateful to our vet that our vet is able to visit Exuma every other weekend, along with the private vet who also visit the island. This means we can now realistically have a vet available every weekend, which is a meaningful step forward for our animals in our community. None of this would be possible without the incredible dedication of our volunteers who truly carry the day-to-day work of the Humane Society. They are fostering animals, organizing clinics, coordinating care, caring for and walking the dogs at the shelter, maintaining the shelter itself, fielding calls at all hours of the day and night, working to reunite pets with their owners, and responding whenever help is needed. There is so much that goes behind the scenes to make everything run smoothly. Spaces like this clinic room help make that very possible. So today, it is especially meaningful that this room is dedicated in honor of Ms. Shirley, whose generosity has created a lasting impact for both the animals of Exuma and the people who care for them. On behalf of the Humane Society Exuma, our volunteers, and the many animals who benefit from this space in the years ahead, thank you. And once again, Ms. Shirley, thank you for your extraordinary generosity and for helping make this possible.
Thank you, Tracy. So we're going to hear firsthand from a couple of the volunteers, Susan and then Erica with Scooby. So Susan's going to just share briefly her story. And you'll see this is coming. Tamara has her book with her pen to sign up volunteers. So I see what's coming.
This down a little bit. It's in my eyes. Good morning. I'm Susan Watson. I moved here 4 years ago, and we moved in, and our builder said, you know, there's some puppies over there that were born a couple of months ago right next to your house, and they've been in your house more than you have. And that led to a phone call to Ellen, and now I have 4. I got the mother and the gigolo boyfriend and the 2 babies. And we have a really nice family on the beach, and I'm known as the dog lady on the beach, but I'm so grateful for everything that Shirley has provided us with here because I have 4 dogs. And there have been many times where I've needed a vet when the vet has not been here. And now the opportunity to have a vet here every weekend really gives you a little bit more peace of mind because they're like your kids. They really are. And I get really emotional when I speak. I'm sorry. I don't want to say a whole lot more about me. We've talked about all the volunteers here, and we're all pieces of a really big puzzle. But there are 2 people that I want to mention specifically. One is Anne Marie. Anne Marie was our Humane Society before we had a Humane Society. And without her, there'd be so many more animals hurt on the street without the love that she gives them every day. I can't believe I'm crying. Jeez. And Shirley has made all this extraordinarily possible. But if we had that pile of money sitting in a bank, if we did not have Ellen, none of this would be here. And we all know it. She does not like to take any credit. I said, you know, you're the heart of the community. No, we're all equal. And I'm like, bull. She orders supplies. She orders the meds. She does everything. She's available all hours of the day. The phone rings, she answers it, no matter what time. She had somebody calling about a hurt seagull at 2:30 in the morning, and she answered the phone. I'm like, turn it off, Anyway, I know there are a lot of people that want to speak, but I just felt like it was really important that in addition to mentioning Shirley and her generosity, two key players that have been here for a long time keep us going. Thank you.
Okay, you could hear that Scooby was agreeing with a lot of what Susan said, so we'll be a bit quiet now as I ask Erica, and I hope Scooby's going to be okay. So Erica's just going to share her fostering story with the beautiful Scooby.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Just give me a moment. All right. My name is Erica, and I'm a volunteer with the shelter. And while I've helped in a variety of small ways over my time, most recently, all of my attention has been going to fostering this little guy here, originally named Sharky. However, when every person you're meeting is saying, "Oh, he's so cute, he looks just like Scooby-Doo," we eventually took the hint, and now he's known by most of his friends as Scooby. While I'd always grown up with dogs and worked in other shelters, fostering was a big jump for my fiance and I, as we'd always been empty nesters in our adult lives. And we were worried about the freedom we'd lose by bringing a dog into our home and our routine. However, the joy he's brought into our lives since September has been nothing short of life-changing. His energetic nature and goofy demeanor keeps us entertained and on our toes for hours. In all the best ways, of course, most of the time. We spend much less time binging on the couch and far more time outdoors introducing Scooby to the beauties of Exuma, all the while enjoying our surroundings even more as a result. This is not to say it hasn't had its challenges, because fostering definitely isn't easy. Over the last few months, Scooby and I have been working on training. In the early days, we focused mostly on potty training, and I'm very proud to say he's mastered that, and now he'll go to the door and paw it all on his own accord to let us know when he needs to go out, which is fantastic. We've also learned some basic commands such as sit, paw, and wait, and now we're focusing on some more challenging endeavors such as leash etiquette, consistent recall, and using our manners when we're surrounded by new people and other pets. And to see his growth and confidence build throughout these last few months has been truly rewarding. Earning his trust and watching him grow and having him share his personality with us little bit by little bit every day has enriched our lives far more than we could have ever anticipated. The somewhat sleepless nights in the beginning, as we all settled into our new routine with each other, were short-lived and very long forgotten. And it makes every challenge we encounter now totally worth it. We know we'll get through it. Now, I can't share my experience without pointing out that for us, the opportunity came about and was made possible because of the incredible devotion and hard work of the Exuma Humane Society and the incredible team of volunteers who stand behind it. Through my involvement alone, I've seen how each animal that comes into their care is given the opportunity for a new lease on life. They not only provide shelter to our four-legged friends, but they also provide a safe space in which we can all develop meaningful connections with each other and the animals we share the island with. And all these relationships, of course, are built on patience and empathy, because I don't know what will build patience more than scrubbing out a kennel in the morning full of who knows what they've left behind from the night before. So in my eyes, the Humane Society and all of the services they provide are truly an irreplaceable and such an important resource to have here in our community. And I'm very grateful that I'm able to support their efforts in any small way that I can. So thank you so much for listening, everyone, and hearing about our foster story. And a huge round of applause for the Humane Society for achieving this milestone and for all the incredible work that they undertake for the animals. All right, it's our time.
Erica, he did well. He passed the test. Yeah, he deserves a treat, absolutely. We're grateful this morning to have Rosemary Poitier, Chief Clerk and Animal Control Unit Representative from the Department of Agriculture with us. Ms. Poitier is just going to spend a brief moment just sharing, I know, she's told me, the relationship. There's been a couple of changes as well as far as licensing of dogs, and it's important that we understand that, and also the fact that she will be partnering with the Humane Society so that when you come, you can also see Ms. Poitier from the department as well. So thank you so much.
A pleasant good morning to all. Permit me to stand on the established protocol. I am Rosemary Poitier, Chief Clerk, Department of Agriculture, Exuma's office. I also act in the capacity as the Animal Control Representative in collaboration with the Royal Bahamas Police Force Exuma Division. Collectively, we try our endeavor best to educate and encourage residents to become knowledgeable regarding the Animal Protection and Control Act, in addition to the Dog License Act. As mandated, the owner of any dog above the age of 3 months shall take out a license in respect of such dog. The licensing of dogs is very cost-effective. For dogs that are spayed or neutered, licensing is free with documentation from a veterinarian. Dogs not spayed or neutered, the fee is $11. The penalty for having an unlicensed dog is $250. We at the Department of Agriculture encourages residents to visit us at Tally's Plaza, Ocean Edition, between the hours of 7:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m., or give us a call at 358-7156. We will be delightful to see or hear from you. Let's continue to work together as a team. After all, together, everybody achieves more. Henceforth, I have agreed to make it more accessible for residents who wishes not to travel in the Western District of the island. Ms. Ellen and I will schedule days when I will be here at the Society for licensing of dogs. I'm encouraging all to license their dogs. It's easier to pay $11 than be fined $250. Thank you.
Thank you for that very important information. So we are going to hear now from Dr. Smith, our new vet, who will be visiting every other weekend. And then immediately following Dr. Smith, Tamara is going to come up and just share a bit about the shelter and the work that the volunteers do as well. So, Doc, thank you so much.
Good morning all. Thank you for being here at this special occasion. I came in on the tail end. My first visit here was a day trip in December, just to see what was going on. And I can say a lot of progress has been made, especially behind here. But there's more to come. A little bit about myself. I am in my 19th year as a veterinarian, but I've been a veterinarian since I was born. When I got the call from Ellen through Lisa McCormack Bach, I thought to myself, how am I going to pull this off? But growing up with my innate love for animals passed on from my grandmother, there was no chance I was going to say no. I believe that I was gifted with talents that require me to help where I can, when I can, and how I can. I am happy to be here, as I think one of the goals the Veterinary Association should have is trying to get all of the islands of the Bahamas serviced in any possible way. And that will only come with unity and a basic care for just the animals. Moving forward, I want to get to know everybody as best as possible. I'm probably going to learn the animals' names before I learn everybody else's names. Please bear with me on that. But again, I'm happy for the opportunity, and I look forward to making healthy, happy pets. Okay? Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Protocol having been established, I would like to join the other speakers in thanking you all for being here today as we celebrate the opening of Shirley's Place. My name is Tamara McGaw-Robinson, and I'm honoured to be here on this day for the Humane Society Exuma and for the animals of Exuma. This is a great day. The shelter and Shirley's Place would not be able to function without our volunteers. Their time, their commitment, and their passion for animals make it possible for us to care for all the animals that need us. We had our first official shift here at the Humane Society Exuma shelter on April the 7th, 2025. And since then, we have been operating with 3 volunteer shifts a day. That every morning, every lunchtime, every evening, 7 days a week, someone will come to visit the residents here. Our volunteers give them fresh food and water. They clean their kennels. They take the dogs for walks and give love, attention, and playtime to all the residents during each shift, spending extra time when needed to make sure all of the animals that stay here feel safe and secure. And in return, we do get love back from all our residents, especially Calypso and Cinnamon. Volunteering is a sacrifice that so many people are making here that I would like to acknowledge. Our volunteers include full-time residents juggling busy lives, and also visitors and short-term residents that are here for a break but still give us their time. The generosity of all our helpers is so appreciated. That list of helpers and volunteers that have covered a shift since April last year now totals over 50. And that does not include people who will often stop by to give the dogs an extra mid-morning walk when they're passing by some days. In 2025, 101 animals were adopted into new homes. 101 dogs and cats, thanks to Humane Society Exuma, now have loving families and stability and are living the lives they deserve. Some of the animals that come to the shelter need extra time and care before they are ready for adoption. And for this, I would like to recognise Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie takes on the responsibility of fostering many of our adult dogs that often need more space than the kennel can give them. She provides them with a safe environment, plenty of love, and also for quite a few daily medications that they need for heartworm treatment and other health issues. Her commitment gives these animals the opportunity to recover and thrive while they wait for their forever homes. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you to Shirley for your generosity and vision for this wellness and surgery centre. And also, thank you to Ellen for your determination and commitment to this cause. Without the two of you, none of us would be here today. So, with the opening of Shirley's Place, I do have a request. It is that you, Exuma, continue to support the Humane Society Exuma in helping the animals of Exuma to get the care and find the loving homes that they all deserve. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you to those speakers. I just want to add, I mean, you're hearing a lot about the volunteers, and they are just unbelievable. I mean, when I was with Sandals, we had a chat group, and that was a very stressful chat group a lot of the time. I'm privileged to be on the Humane Society chat group here, and that brings stress to another level. It is a military operation that Tamara goes through every week, making sure every shift is covered. And, you know, it doesn't matter. You can have one animal here, just one, and you still need that breakfast, that lunch, that dinner, oftentimes an in-between if they're on medications. It doesn't matter whether it's Christmas Day. It doesn't matter whether it's Valentine's. Those volunteers are a few weeks ago, I hope you don't mind me sharing what I read on the chat group. So there was a little pup, Paisley, and Paisley was feeling a bit down, a bit depressed, because some of the others had found homes, and Paisley was here and on the chat group the volunteers were saying that Paisley, wasn't too happy and was a bit depressed. So one of the volunteers said, well, he's coming for a sleepover then. And I'm just sharing this with you because if anyone just believes it's coming in, dropping off food and going, the love that these volunteers share with the animals is truly unbelievable. The dedication is incredible, and they are volunteers. There is only one paid person here, and that is the professional, that is the vet. Every other person is a volunteer, and it can only happen through the volunteers. And I have to say, that does include Ellen. I had to have explained to me, I said, well, Ellen, you're driving the Humane Society van. No, Mr. Munt, that's my personal van. I said, okay, well, if it's your personal van, then it's your personal gas. Yes. So, Pastor, when that person in Farmers Hill calls that number on the side of the van at 2:00 in the morning, it's going to be answered. And that volunteer, Ellen, will get out of her bed, will go and find that injured cat or that sick dog, and that person is a volunteer. And it is important that Exuma knows the incredible work and the sacrifices that all of the volunteers make. So I just want to add my thanks for all of the volunteers. And with that said, we've probably scared people off now. No one's going to. If anyone wishes to volunteer, I've done a terrible job of selling that, Tamara. Sorry. Then please see Tamara. We're here for Shirley. Shirley was born on February the 3rd, 1935, in Columbus, Mississippi. She just celebrated her 91st birthday. Shirley was one of 6 children in her family. Her strong Southern roots were based in the love of family and her membership in the First Baptist Church. Shirley met the love of her life, Dee, and eloped to marry in 1952 at the tender age of 17. Always one to know exactly what she wanted, this was a wonderful marriage. They had 2 children, Alan and Sherry. The marriage lasted 66 years until Dee's passing in 2019. The family always had dogs and cats as part of the household. All of the family pets were either strays or rescues. It was important to Shirley that her children learn how to take care of their pets and give them lots of love and care. In a time when spay and neutering was not the norm, it was always done in their house. In 2015, the family made their first trip to Sandals in Exuma. The natural beauty of the island made it a perfect fit for their vacation. The family loved everything about Exuma. That first trip they enjoyed at Sandals included a trip to meet the swimming pigs with Ray and Justin Lightbourne. Philip and Rebecca, great to have you, great supporters of the Humane Society, a great animal-loving family. I found that out to my peril once. A few years ago, Sandals, we'd closed temporarily because of a hurricane that had passed through, and Justin came in one day and said he needed food for the pigs. And I said, well, why? Because there are no tours, we're not sending in. And he looked at me and he said, Mr. Mutton, the pigs still need to be fed. That really put me in my place, but it made me realize What an animal-loving family the Lightbourne family are. Thank you for your support. The staff they met at Sandals would soon become like extended family, they would come to visit every year, from housekeepers to wait staff and even the groundskeeper, Uncle Sam. And Shirley, I have to tell you, Sam is still there at the resort. On that first trip in 2015, Shirley immediately noticed all the cat feeding stations around the Sandals Emerald Bay Resort. Always one to be prepared for new furry friends, Shirley travelled with kitty treats to lure any of the potential critters in need of petting. On that trip, she had plenty of new friends. During her annual visits that followed, Shirley inquired about how these cats were being fed and cared for medically. This led to meeting Ellen Sykes for the first time in 2021. Shirley was so impressed how Ellen had dedicated her life to the rescue and care of the Sandals cats, as well as other animals on Exuma. She knew at that time she wanted to support the Humane Society of Exuma. I'm going to read that one more time, and Ellen won't like me for this, but tough. I'm on the microphone. Shirley was so impressed how Ellen had dedicated her life to the rescue and care of the Sandals cats, as well as other animals on Exuma. Shirley knew at that time she wanted to support the Humane Society of Exuma. After Dee's passing, Shirley, along with her daughter Sherry and Sherry's husband, they continued to return to Sandals. One particular visit, Sherry and Woody stopped in at Shirley's room to walk to breakfast with her. Shirley was sitting on the bed with a young golden cat now named Cinnamon. You'll all see Cinnamon. As Sherry said, Mum was in heaven with her own personal resort cat. Cinnamon then became a repeat visitor to always visit with Shirley. Another cat, Calypso, also came for visits, and these two cats reside at the Humane Society today. Over the years, it has been Shirley's great joy and honour to be a major supporter of the Humane Society Exuma. I will never forget the first time that they made a donation. Shirley made a donation. I was at Sandals having breakfast with Shirley and Shirley's daughter, Sherry, and Sherry's husband. And towards the end of breakfast, Sherry said to me, Jeremy, Mum would like to make a donation. So at the time we had these pledge cards because we encourage guests to support some of the causes that we took care of. And the pledge card had like a $10 or a $20, and I think $50 was the maximum. So I said, well, I'll get a pledge card and Mum can fill it out. And Sherry said, no, Mum would like to make a donation. Well, the penny didn't drop with me. And so I said, yeah, Sherry, I heard you, and let me go and get one of these pledge cards. Sherry put her knife and fork down, and she looked at me in the eyes and said, Jeremy, Mum would like to make a donation. And you know, it was that aha moment. I think I need to call Ellen. And since that day, Shirley has truly, truly been an amazing, amazing person. Ellen, come up for me, please. I'm going off script. Ellen is not going to like this because the one instruction that I had, this morning was, I don't want to speak. I don't want to have my picture taken. I don't want to be called up. And she's not going to speak because I know that today for Ellen is a very, very emotional moment, and I would not want to put her blubbering on the spot. I will not do that. But so Shirley, a couple of weeks ago, I was speaking to Shirley and her daughter, and they said, you know, this is all very well, and it's great that we now have this amazing building with everything in it, and we've got the vet who comes every other weekend, and, you know, but Shirley still didn't feel that enough had been accomplished. And what I mean by that is, you know, so the vet can administer the medications and all the rest of it, but if there had to be an operation, or if an x-ray was required, or if blood work was, well, you'd still need to fly to Nassau and all that expense and all the rest of it. So Shirley said, what else can I do? What else can I contribute? So I said, well, I have to ask. I will ask Ellen what, you know, and she'll ask the vet. And so I did, and big mistake. Ellen said we need a digital x-ray system. That's essential for fractures, pneumonia, checking foreign bodies. We need one of those. 50,000, so that ain't gonna happen. We need a hematology analyzer. I mean, but 15,000, I don't know. Analyzer. You can tell so much about somebody's health or an animal's health by their blood. We need one of those. A urinalysis analyzer. Well, that was cheap. That was 1,000. Patient monitoring, 3,000. Jeremy, we need a generator. Because what if Doc is in the middle of surgery? We store a lot of medicines that have to be refrigerated. What if they go down? We need a generator here. That's going to be about 30,000. We can't afford it. Dental equipment. The dental equipment in its entirety would be between 10 and 15,000. Sterilization, about 6,000. And then Ellen said, and separate and apart from all of this, I also want Bark to come over every year to do the free spay and neutering clinics. For those who don't know Bark, Bahamas Alliance for Animal Rights and Kindness, they have a mobile team, a brilliant operation, and they will come over for 2 weekends and do free spay and neutering, free vaccinations, free microchipping. I think they were on the park a few years ago, right? And anyone can, and it's all free. But it's free to people, it's not free for the Humane Society Exuma to call them to come over. And that visit, I think, is around 15,000 for. So, but Ellen said, we need one of these to support all the work and everything that we're doing. So I went back to Shirley, and as you can imagine, that was a difficult phone call. And I said, well, you did ask. And so I blamed Ellen and I blamed Doc. I will be very honest, because she's a good friend of mine. And I said, this is what, to really be a state-of-the-art clinic, to be a best-in-class veterinary center for a family island, this is what they're asking for, this is what they need. So today, I am presenting you with a check for every single thing on your list. So, separate and apart from what Shirley has done to date, every single thing that Shirley and Vet asked for will happen. And all Shirley is asking is that it happens as soon as possible, and the quality pet care at affordable pricing will now happen. No one will have to go anywhere. Everything can be done here. So, congratulations. Like I said, she can't. Yes, yes. We got the Kleenex. It is unbelievable. And it will be, I can't, it's hard to describe, especially for those of us who know what was and what this place will now be, is truly unbelievable. It is at this time that we will have the formal blessing given to us by the Reverend Stephen Smith, pastor of Ebenezer Union Baptist Church, Farmers Hill. He is the president of the Exuma Christian Council, Gravoy's husband and father of Stefan and Casmin Smith. Pastor will come up and will give the formal blessing of Shirley's place. I'm then going to ask Doc, along with the volunteer tech, Megan, they're going to come up and they will be the ones who will be cutting the ribbon. When we are leaving here, I haven't quite finished, but when we are leaving here, we're taking, please, just don't go that way. We really want you to see, where things are going to be, where the equipment is going to be, where the examination rooms are going to be. We really want you to understand what this is all about. And then refreshments will be served at the back after. But Pastor, please come up for the formal blessing, and then I will ask Doc and Megan to come up.
I'm going to ask all of us to stand as we now give the formal blessing to Shirley's place. Let us receive the blessing. We now dedicate Shirley's place to the well-being of animals everywhere and for the purpose by which they were created by the Almighty God. In the name of the Father, name of the Son. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much. Now, just before, you can be seated, please. Just before I do call up Doc, because I know everyone's going to get excited and walk through and everything, and I'll lose you. There are some thanks that we would like to share, please. The landlords here, the Darville family, just want to say thank you for the support that they have and continue to show. Pastor Stephen Smith for being with us today. We appreciate you being here. The contractors who have given Ellen and the volunteers some hard times over the last few weeks, present company excluded. Fritz, Moss, and Dames specifically, we want to say thank you to you. Persons who have supported today, Kervin from Island Picks, thank you for being here to capture those moments, as well as in the animals. And again, as Tamara said, really, please continue to support Humane Society, Exuma. It really is fantastic what is happening and what is going to happen. So the official ribbon cutting will now take place, and then I'm so sorry. After the cutting, Sir Dames will sign, being a true artist, and then just take your time. The volunteers are here for a while. Doc is here, so because we've got clinics this weekend. So, take your time, ask any questions, anything at all that you wish. And then at some stage, please just take a walk around the facility, just so you can really appreciate and see. And again, refreshments will be served as well. Really appreciate everyone being here and coming. Ellen, am I forgiven? I got the look, so I'm not sure. She said yes? Okay, thank you. So Doc and Megan is a volunteer, but will be the permanent tech who will be here. So for those who will be visiting the clinic, you will be seeing a lot of Megan as well as Doc. And as they are integral in Shirley's Place and will be living in Shirley's Place, we're giving them the honor of coming up to do the ribbon cutting of Shirley's Place. Immediately following that, or you're doing that now. You'll do it now. So Elkino, please come up and sign your artwork, and then Doc and Megan will come up. Okay, so Doc and Megan.
Ellen, please come. Ellen, please come, please come, please come, please come. Everybody understands the concept or have experience of Thanksgiving dinner. You show up and you eat. But a lot went into that food being on the table. I will not be cutting the ribbon because I'm on the tail end. And what is happening today is obviously due to your years of steadfast work and commitment to Exuma Humane Society. So you will be cutting the ribbon. I will stand here because this is your baby.
You're a brave man.
I would honestly feel uncomfortable. This is a big deal, right? And you deserve to cut the ribbon of your baby. So, right? So, Megan, come on.
Do it with me.
No, but
This
let's
wouldn't
go.
be happening without you either.
Only one hand could fit in there. I will hold the ribbon. Everybody can see. Turn a little bit and smile. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out this morning. Again, we really appreciate everyone's support. Shirley's Place is now officially open. As I shared, there is a clinic taking place this weekend, Saturday, so I think there's a few spaces left, but not many, to be honest with you. So if you did want to, then just have a word with Ellen or one of the volunteers. But enjoy. Please stay around for a bit. There is catering. And yes, please take, there are 2 flyers that really are promoting. This is a general flyer for the vet services. It doesn't give specific dates, but it does give what the services provide. So please take as many of those as you so wish. And then this one is just how persons can donate, as well as volunteers. And I know we're going to get many volunteers after today. So please take as many. And again, thank you for coming today. Please make your way around. There is catering as well, and appreciate everyone being here. All right. Thank you so much. Well said.